Welcome back to This Week at MBE. So this week we're just going to go through some things, show you what's going on in the shop. So we got the CNCs are on, I would say, like changeovers. So we're switching from doing the big 9 manifolds, making LS 10 degree runs and things like that. Now we're going on to the tractor pull / pro mod heads here. And this is for the Brad Anderson platform that he created for all of us. I didn't want all of us to get involved, but we did. So we'll move on to these. You can see they're lined up over here. So we'll probably run 3/4 of those because those are spoken for. And then we're going to go on to big 9s. You can see here's a raw set here. They got C-bores and guide bores put in them. So this is a raw set. We have a pallet of these coming in the next 5 days. All of these, so we'll run all of these so they're ready, so we can be very quick on the machine part. So in other words, we'll machine for seats and guides and spring pockets and valve train, spark plugs, things like that, and then we'll install the seats, and then we're basically 12 hours away from having a completed CNC head where all we have to do is hone guides and valve jobs, CC and deck, things of that nature. And then we have a set of, this is the 10.8, the 10 degree wedge heads that we do. So this is fresh off the machine. So these are raw too when we get them, so there's no C-ports, guide bores, valve train machine. Nothing up here is machined. So we go in there and machine all this, make it look pretty, and then it'll go back in. Oh, yep, they already got the push rod is finished, so this is all machined for 1/2-inch push rods. And the valve train, as you can see, has extra fasteners in it, and the bar is wider, and that was just to make some more clamping area for it. So if somebody wants to run, 95, 10,000 RPM, they can. And we have ran the similar valve train in this. Right now we're at 12 years, 10 or 12 years. Because we ran this in comp eliminator and went 10,600 RPM and had no problem. And that's with spring technology that didn't exist. So things have they're ever evolving, which is wonderful. That's why we all do this. The CNC department, I would say the biggest challenge was making as many valley trays as we had to make. But Scott and Joey got together on this, changed the fixturing, changed the way we were doing everything. So that has gotten much, much more efficient over the last few months. That was a bottleneck for a while, but the guys in the shop had to help them. Everyone had to help each other to get to that point. So now that's not quite the bottleneck it used to be at all. So truthfully, it's probably the first year that the CNC department has kept up with the guys out here in production. So hats off to them, because in my mind, that's the most difficult thing. So, got over here, see this typical stuff, rolling through here, rolling through here. So a lot of this stuff is on here for soft chambers. It's already been CNC ported, and it's just in line to do that. Typical soft chambers, they can roll through those pretty quickly. It is nice to do all the big blocks at one time, all the small block Chevys, all the small block Fords, and all the LSs at one time. That way you're not changing fixturing over and over and over, and when you have to do that, it makes things extremely inefficient. So, but they all know how to do that. And you can see big 9 manifolds are run. The wedge manifolds are run, but you've seen those a while ago. And then we'll come here, and they're finishing up. So here's a set of the small block Chevy 11 degree symmetrical for a power adder, so it has the soft chamber in it. So these guys are just finishing everything up here, and then just a little bit of blending of the valve job, and then here's another set right here. So this is set up for, so my guess this is probably like a 10-inch deck, something like this, to put a spacer on like this. So what nice is we make the spacer, we match the ports perfect because we just take the CAD work and machine it. And now the guys will give the CNC department dimensions on the valley trays, so those can get finished. They can be in process all the time, and we can break down mock-up fixtures much, much quicker and keep things rolling. But just like everything evolves. We have to keep getting more efficient, and sometimes that's the fun of it. Even though it's challenging, that is the fun of it. You can see manifolds are laid out here. So this one's laid out. Yep, all these are laid out. So these are ready to go. So we should, hopefully we'll have all these finished in the next 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. It takes almost 1 week to do one. There's a lot of time in them. And then we got the LS. We got the LS 10 degrees right here. So here's a finished set, and it's getting a manifold. So it'll be a manifold like this that will go on here. One of these. So these are John from CID makes all of these, big plenum volume, short runners, things like that. The only one out there offering stuff for big cubic inch, high RPM, small blocks is CID in the manifold world. So I shouldn't say that. M&M has a couple also. So between M&M and CID, I'd say that the two of them are taking over the manifold business, and we're just very, very, we're very grateful they're willing to work with us, you know, so we can use the product. And then come in here, that has, that's an anti-veto, probably should show that. And then we'll go in here. So Joey's over here. We do all the laser scanning in-house. That's a hexagon laser scanner. Joey and Scott told us that we needed a hexagon instead of some of the other brands because of the accuracy of it. So we do all that laser scanning of the ports, everything in-house. I think this is one of the things, kind of like the Epoch and the DMGs are that how did we do without it? I definitely feel like that. So Joey's setting up to scan some chambers on a new LS10 that we're doing, or ports, I should say ports, we're scanning ports. Yeah. And then come in here, and it's just finished stuff, but here's a set of big nines, the stuff's all finished. It looks like the valves are here and everything, so this stuff should be ready to ship out very quickly. I just went and looked at the valve orders and stuff, and it looks like, because we've gotten so many valves over the last like 6 days, that we should have about 10 to 12 projects going out within the next 4 days. So yeah, that's great. So we'll come in here and see what Dave's got going on. Okay, so here's some big nines. So these are in here. So what they'll do is they'll hone the guides, and we diamond hone the guides. The reason why we use diamonds is because that way they don't have any taper to them. They stay more round, so we can tighten up on the clearances better. And when we do all of that, that makes the valve job stay in it longer. So everything is dictated off of right here when you valve job. This has to be perfect. If it's not perfect, when it goes to the epochs, the valve job will not be as good. So this is a very tedious job, and that's why we have Dave doing it, because Dave is tedious and he does everything perfect. So we got a big nine manifold here, and then some more big nines to be for the guides to be honed. And just remember, like I said, we got big nine castings are coming in. They should be here in the next 5 days. So that's a pallet of those, and there's another pallet on order after those. So the most important thing is just do it, whatever we can, whatever possible, to not be the land of broken promises. I know some of the vendors are getting, people are getting frustrated with them. I can tell you the vendors that are a little bit slow with us, it's not because they're upset with us or anything. They want to get work out as much as anybody, especially as much work as we give them, and we pay our bills on time. Just everybody needs to remember they're doing everything they can too. It's a different world. When you're paying people to stay home and things like that, it makes it very difficult to keep things rolling. And I promise you, everybody there is putting more hours than they ever have. And I want to thank all the vendors. I appreciate that very much. And of course, the customers and everybody watching. So have a great weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.